We'll study about log-based recovery in today's class. So it's the most widely used structure for uh, recording the database modification is the log, right? So whenever you perform some modifications to the database, we record it in a log file. So log is a sequence of log records recording all the update activities that is being done in the database. So generally, log record uh, consists of the following fields: TI, XJ, V1, and V2. Right. So whenever you are going to perform some modifications to the database, we are going to record the modifications in a log file. So generally, an update log record it describes a single database write operation. It consists of the following field: transaction TI, XJ, V1, and V2, where TI denotes the transaction identifier, so which is the unique identifier of the transaction that performs the write operation, and XJ it denotes the data identifier, so it denotes an unique identifier of the data item that has been written. So typically, data item is written onto the location of a disk or memory, and V1 denotes the old value of the data item prior to the write operation, and V2 denotes the new value of the data item after the write operation, right? So these are the four fields in this record that you need to be familiar, right? Uh, right. So we have Ishan. Yeah, you can mute yourself. Right. So whenever you are going to make modifications to a database, you are going to uh, record whatever the modification that is being done to the particular database in a log file. So the log file contains a log record which consists of four fields: TI, which is a unique transaction ID. So this transaction ID is given to the transaction that performs the database write operation, and XJ is going to be the data item on which we are going to perform the write operation, and V1 is going to be the old value of the data item XJ, and V2 is going to be the new value of the data item XJ after the write operation has been carried out. Right. So we'll see an example for log-based recovery. Right. So we represent an update log record as TI, XJ, V1, V2, indicating that the transaction TI has performed a write operation on the data item XJ, and XJ, the data item XJ had the value V1 before the write operation, and it had the value V2 after the write operation, right? So the other significant events that happen during the transaction processing are like TI start, commit, and TI abort, right? So TI start means that a transaction TI has started. TI commit means that transaction TI has committed, and TI abort means that transaction TI has aborted, right? So these are the other log records, right? So one log record you are from the TI, XJ, V1, V2. So similar to this log record, which is used to record the modifications that is being done to a database, we have the other significant events that happens in a transaction can be recorded using this log records. So TI start, it denotes the starting of a transaction. TI commit means you are going to make the changes permanent to the database, right? So transaction TI has committed, and TI aborted means the transaction TI has been aborted. Right. So whenever a transaction performs a write operation, it is essential that the log record for the write operation be created and added to the log before the database is modified. So once a log record exists, we can output the modification to the database if it is desirable. Also, we have the ability to undo a modification that has been already been output to the database, right? So for log records to be useful for recovery from system and disk failure, the log records must be stored in a stable storage.